Greetings from Cybertron. This is SoundJack here with a review of the Transformers Cybertron Voyager class Vector Prime with Safeguard. So, this week's reviews are going to be more figures I got from TFCon, and all of them will be from the Cybertron toy line, and we are starting off with Vector Prime. Of note for this particular figure, there was a standard retail release of a standard Voyager, but the one I got came in a special Toys R Us exclusive 2-pack that also came with the Voyager class STARSCREAM mold, the only version of the STARSCREAM mold to be released in the US as STARSCREAM, though in a widely different color scheme for whatever reason. While Vector Prime was just basically re-released, he looks exactly the same as he does to the normal retail version. I don't have that other STARSCREAM mold, so I'm not going to be talking about it, but he's just exactly the same. I did get him with the box and the packaging, though that box and packaging is just messed up, so I'm not showing it off in this video, but just so you are aware that I'm specifically reviewing a special version of Vector Prime, but there's not, again, like I said, there is nothing different between the Toys R Us 2-pack exclusive and the regular retail release of Vector Prime. So let's take a before we take a look at Vector Prime, let's take a closer look at his Minicon partner Safeguard here, who turns into a very cyber spacecraft gun thing. Yes. You can see he's predominantly white. He's got some black bits right there, a little bit of blue on the wings, matches up pretty well with Vector Prime's color scheme. He's got a lot of nice details on this front section here, but it's basically like the gun, because he does attach to Vector Prime in a couple of ways to become the gun. You can see his lower body, you can see the Minicon port right there, and yeah, that's pretty much all there is to Safeguard. To transform him, you unfold his legs like so. The feet tab into slots right. Well, the feet have slots that fit the tabs that are right there. You fold those down, you flip the feet out, you fold this gun down on his back, and boom, you got Safeguard in his robot mode, and you can see all the same details. You got the blue faceplate going on there, you got a little fist going on, and yeah, he's pretty cute. He's pretty small. You'll see more size comparisons later, but for articulation, he has no head articulation. His elbows are able to, his shoulders are able to rotate a full 360. He's got a ball joint at the elbow that allows his arm to bend. Well, I'm using the wrong arm. Allowing him to bend 90 degrees, though, and have some swivel motion, though, with just how how things fit on him. Well, you can get some posing out of that, like doing stuff like that, though. Like I am seeing the ball joint likes to pop out. The hips are on a pin, so they're able to bend that far forward. If you get the gun out of the way, that far back, knees are able to bend that far back, that far forward, and then the feet do pivot because of the transformation. And then you can place the gun wherever you want, though like anything besides like flat on the back is probably going to look a little weird. And then he is able to interact with Vector Prime. He is able to connect to Vector Prime in vehicle mode, as that was the thing that Minicons tended to do during the Unicron trilogy. And there's this big gash right here on the front of Vector Prime. There is the Minicon part right there, and Safeguard fits snugly in there, so you can see how Safeguard looks all connected to Vector Prime, and that's pretty much the only place to store him in vehicle mode. You got ports right there and there on Vector Prime, but those are predominantly for the robot mode. He is a little tough to get out from that position, but that's all there is to say on Safeguard. So let's take a closer look at Vector Prime himself, and boy is he is a very sci-fi yet ancient looking spaceship with a lot of nice details going on here. He's got predominantly this creamy white. He's got this gold, this light blue, this brown, and there are so many details on him. Look at all of those gear details. You know he is old because he is basically a clockwork machine. Just look at all those details. He's got some translucent blue going on in the front there for a cockpit. He's got an Autobot logo right there. Just falling back to see more details. He's got this blue core with this blue section with the red core. That's mostly his robot mode chest. Some nice blue there. Lot of gold and brown, picking out various details, and still a lot of molded detail elsewhere. You got these translucent blue wings that also have details on them. They kind of look like solar panels a little bit, but with some extra knobs and doodads going on, like right there. Same thing with the other side. When you come underneath, you get some more details, not as much as painted, but you got the details. You got the undersection, you got these cannons going on underneath here, and you got these like radar dishes going on, as well as 4 wheels that do allow him to roll. And then you got more details going on. More details going along there, some paint there, and then you just got the back. And I do have to say, even for an alien spaceship, he's got underjet kibble going on. These legs are just so bulky. They're just so bulky and they're so unnecessary. There's not even like an actual design for this thing, and I'm like, that's underjet kibble. And you know, I thought he would have avoided it because this is an alien spaceship, but no, it just, like, it works in the robot mode, but in this spaceship mode, it's just too bulky under there, which is, again, surprised me when I saw it. But that's a very minor complaint. And I already mentioned the wheels can roll. I guess if you want, you can have articulation in these side panels, though they're really just supposed to stay exactly where they are. Let's talk about accessories he comes with. He comes with this sword, as you can see. There's no place to, talking about the sword itself, all translucent blue plastic, some very nice details going on that sword. It looks very nice. All it does in the vehicle mode is store in the side right there. He also has a missile, and if you press that little black button right there, it will fire. And it is also a translucent blue missile. And of course, as with all other Cybertron figures, he comes with his Cyber Planet key, but his is probably the most unique Cyber Planet key, not only because it has all of the planet's symbols on there, there being Earth, Velocitron, Jungle, Gigantian, and even the Autobot logo right there, though that one's really hard to see, just because it is very tiny in there, and all of this this translucent blue. But because the Cyber Planet key part is on a piece that's like imprinted into the key, as opposed to like being like designed onto the shape, like onto the main part of the key himself. Normally there is an indent in here on the other Cyber Planet keys, but this is completely filled up with this brown. It's got some nice details going on, an Autobot logo, and the code V38G, which if you plugged it onto the old Hasbro website would have given you extra info about Vector Prime. And in vehicle mode, you can plug it in right there. And what it will do is nothing. It will do absolutely nothing. When this toy was released in Japan, the gimmick, the Cyber Planet key, activated a light and sound gimmick, which you can see the port for it right here, but it has been dismantled and bolted and removed, like the electronics for it were removed for the English, the Hasbro version of the toy. So the cyber key just goes in, and then you gotta just use your imagination for it to do stuff. So that's just, but it's a very cool cyber key. Unfortunately, she just doesn't have a gimmick that works or does anything. Yeah, that's all there's to say for that. So let's get into some size comparisons. And bring Safeguard out here so as he can get size compared to as well. Here they are with Legends class Bumblebee. And Vector Prime is way too tall. There is Bumblebee. There's Safeguard next to Vector Prime. And there is Safeguard next to Bumblebee. And Safeguard is as long as Bumblebee, and I find that funny. We got Deluxe Class Chrome Dome. You can see how he looks next to Vector Prime and next to Safeguard. Then we have Voyager Class Megatron next to Vector Prime. Those are both Voyager Class figures. You can see what recession has done to toys. And then also Megatron next to Safeguard. And here he is with Leader Class 6-shot. Next to that, next to Safeguard. Next to Vector Prime. Vector Prime is still much longer, but even if 6-shot was in his jet mode, I bet he would probably be about the same size as Vector Prime is right here. If not a little bit larger. Yeah, that's all there is to say on the vehicle mode. So let's roll right along into the robot mode. You already saw Safeguard's transformation. So we're going to get to Vector Prime. First thing you're going to do is you're going to take the legs and you're going to fold them out. There are these holes in his feet that plug into ports right there and there. And you just straighten them out. And then you straighten out the feet. And then you are done with the lower legs. Oh wow, you didn't see any of that on the camera. The feet were down here and you just fold them down like so. Okay, so next thing you're going to do is you're going to take those wing fins, those wings, and fold them down. Fold them in together. And then on the back, you're going to fold them down at this hinge first. And then you'll fold them up at that hinge. There is also this extra hinge if you want to do extra stuff, but I do prefer it in this position, and that seems to be the more accurate position regardless. So I will leave them like so. Next, you're going to take this entire front, untab it, and fold it down on the double hinge, and it'll just sit back on that backpack. Next, you're going to take the shoulder pads, fold them up like so, untab the arms. That tab on his side will go into a slot right there on his arm. And you fold those front bits up, and there you've got his one arm. Repeat that on the other side, fold that up, untab, slide that up, and all you gotta do is rotate Vector Prime's head, then boom, you've got Vector Prime in his robot mode. And boy, does that look good. That looks good. He's got a fair bit of backpack on his back, but boy, does this still look pretty good. So, taking a closer look at Vector Prime. I'm gonna raise the camera up a little bit for this Voyager figure. He's got a very nice face. He's got this brown burgundy head. He does have red in his eyes. Red pink going on in those eyes. He's got some very nice blue going on his faceplate, some silver going along the sides of his face, and some very, very nice details on that face. All of those panels and whatnot. Then you come down, you saw a lot of this in the vehicle mode, but I'll look a little more closer look at it because it's in the position it's supposed to be in now, with the chest and then the lower leg pieces and whatnot. Then you got the arms. The arms are just in burgundy, and there are 5mm posts in those hands. And you see those fist designs right there. You got the shoulder pads. Again, you saw a lot of this in the vehicle mode. You come down to the lower legs. You got this nice gold going on. You got burgundy for the burgundy brown for the thighs, same burgundy brown for the feet, and all of that nice molded detail. And then again, on the back, you just got the entire front of the jet and the wings hanging off the back as a backpack.
But hey, he's old. He's got a nice cape going on. He's got that nice cape design going on and about. And Articulation, his head, is able to rotate a full 360, though it's just on a swivel, so there's no wiggle waggle to it. His arms are on a nice ratchet, and they're able to rotate a full 360. The shoulder pieces are able to rotate into whatever position you want. The arms are able to bend that far up on a ratchet. There is a swivel at the elbow that allows his lower arm to rotate full 360. There is also a ratchet at the elbow, and it's less than 90 degrees. I'd say that's maybe, I think that's more than 60, but I'm not positive. Probably like maybe 70 or something like that. I don't know. And then nothing at the wrist, nothing at the waist either. But he does have these skirt pieces that can fold out of the way to allow his legs to bend forward on very nice ratchets. They could probably bend back if like you got, yeah, if you get rid of everything, his legs are able to go back that far. But unfortunately, he's got all that backpack cable, so that's limiting. The ratchets are able to make him do a full split. And then he does have a swivel at the knee. His knee, if I get things out of the way again, able to bend over 90 degrees. And then the feet are able to pivot. If you want, they can go all the way back, but that's probably breaking his foot at this point. But they can't go up anymore, but you are able to pivot them down. Sorry, pivot them down a bit, well, a fair bit, but yeah. And for accessories and whatnot, well, his safeguard is able to plug in upon his forearm. I'll plug him on the left since that's where he seems to go. There seems to be a little bit of crud on mine. That's a little unfortunate, but oh well, I can take care of that. But safeguard plugs in onto the ports on Vector Prime's forearm. He can take his sword from his backpack, and he is able to hold it in his hand. And you can see him holding his sword, and it looks pretty good. The missile is still able to fire in jet mode, in the robot mode, but I mean, it's coming off of his, it's at the back. It's not going to help. You can't like rotate it all the way around to be a back, to be like an over-the-shoulder cannon or anything. It's just there. You could still use it, but it's not going to help them all out all that much. He was supposed to come with two swords, but that was like a very early design concept. But I think I would have liked that just for the evenness. So like, instead of all of that, I did forget to show off this detail in the jet mode. I apologize. Instead of having all this detail and not over here, I would have been even. And I think I would have liked that a little better. But hey, what are you gonna do? They changed their minds, and it's way too late to get a fix for that. That's all I have to. That's all for most of the robot mode. So now it's time for some robot mode size comparisons. Here they are with Legends class Bumblebee, and you can see now Safeguard is half of Bumblebee's height, and Bumblebee comes up to about Vector's knee. Deluxe class Chrome Dome, and Safeguard's now at Chrome Dome's knee, and Chrome Dome is up to Vector Prime's waist. Voyager class Megatron, and you can see if Vector Prime's got his shields correct. Megatron comes up to like that bottom brown burgundy panel right there. But again, both of them are Voyager class figures. He is so much bigger than Megatron is. Here is Leader class 6 shot. And you can see Vector Prime comes up to like about the top of 6 shot's chest. And of course, here they are with the channel's mascots. Soundwave, who's from the same line as him, and Wheeljack. And you can see how they look next to each other. So yeah, Vector Prime is very nice. He is such a cool character. One of the original 13. Had some very fun interactions on the Ask Vector Prime pages on Facebook and other places. He's a really cool character, one of the 13. I'm so glad I have him in my collection. Also from Cybertron, very important for me. He's from the Cybertron cartoon. But yeah, if you get a chance to get him for a good price, I would definitely recommend it. Oh, before I forget, sorry, before I finish my review, he does the Cyber Key still interacts with him and clips into his chest in robot mode. But again, it does nothing, so at least you see like how it looks on his chest. But yeah, very cool toy. I like it. Again, the jet mode's a little bulky, but hey, it's Cybertron, and all of them are a bit bulky. But for what it is, very nice toy, very cool representation of such a very interesting, such a old and antique and interesting character. Yeah, again, definitely if you want him, get him. If you find him for a good price, get him. I got mine for $20, retail price for the regular release, so I cannot complain about that. But again, if you're into Cybertron, if you're into like the mythos of the 13, definitely recommended for you to get. But yeah, that's all I have to say on Vector Prime. So thank you for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and share this video and subscribe to the channel. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at SoundJack426. Also, please consider donating on my Patreon page to help support the channel. All the links will be in the description below. Thanks for tuning in. This is SoundJack signing off.